Like the Bulls running through the streets of Pamplona, the Swallows returning to Capistrano. Kentucky basketball fans show up each camp out in the fall just for the chance to score tickets to Big Blue Madness. Welcome into this week's edition of BBNTV. And by the way, I did not write that. Dick Gabriel, who is our executive producer, wrote that. Doesn't that sound like something Dick would say?
It sounded so natural. I loved it.
Thanks. Yeah, something like Dick would say. Well, anyway, we have not shifted to basketball already, but of course, as we all know, this is a crazy week that pops up on the schedule every year.
Absolutely, Christy. Hundreds of fans lining up across from Memorial Coliseum for the annual foot race. They make that mad dash to get their favorite spot where they set up shop and wait for the ticket distribution for Big Blue Madness, which is, of course, a glorified practice.
Right, yeah, not even an actual game, mind you, but for the Madness, when they'll pack Rupp Arena and wait for their favorite basketball team to be introduced, it's become quite a tradition like few others in college athletics.
Yeah, everybody just like on pins and needles, and you're just ready to get over here after being here. The anticipation, you're anxious, nervous. You know, everybody works together for the most part all the time, but you know, still that anticipation and wanting to get your 10th there and you know, enjoy the rest of the week.
I got a lot of respect for those people. Well, they actually got their ticket vouchers on Friday morning, so they will tell you the wait was certainly worth it.
I don't know. Could you are you camping out?
No, I could not do it.
I don't like camping, period, much less trying to camp out for some tickets.
Like I said, I got a lot of respect for those people.
Oh, yeah.
That.
Listen, it's great. It's an awesome environment, no doubt about that. All right, so we're going to talk basketball more a little bit later on. Plenty more football left this season, starting with the Cats and the Gamecocks in Columbia. Yeah,
last year, Kentucky made it 5 straight wins over the South Carolina Gamecocks, getting it done on offense and defense. Let's take a look back at that game with the UK healthcare highlights.
I'll tell you what, this feels like it was years ago because Jordan Jones is in on this one, knocks the ball loose, Cats recover near the end zone. Listen, I tell you, doesn't that feel like Jordan Jones was on this team forever ago?
It really does. They set the tone on defense, and that led to some good offensive plays there. Terry Wilson getting himself into the end zone, and they set the tone on offense right after that.
I was right in the corner of the end zone for this one as A.J. Rose is fighting into the end zone. I actually ended up on TV with this really weird look on my face because I could not believe that the kid actually got into the end zone and scored there.
And I love that A.J. Rose has some meaningful experience against South Carolina because he's going to need it this weekend as well.
Well, there's Benny Snell spinning into the end zone for the TD. That's his 40th career touchdown there for him. Flags everywhere, but that's for celebration. Yeah, all right, we'll take it.
Yeah, Benny 99 yards in that game last year. And then some more defense. Defense played really well against Jake Bentley. I think the Wildcats are going to be sad that Jake Bentley is not under center again this weekend.
Well, aren't we all missing this? Check this out. Coming off the end there, Josh Allen, boy, I thought he had him in the end zone, but he sacks him near the goal line and then turns around and does it again.
Looking back at the box score last year, the 3 leading tacklers in this game, Josh Allen, Darius West, Mike Edwards. Unfortunately, none of those guys will be playing this weekend. So
yeah, right.
Kentucky's going to need some defensive guys to step up.
Well, and speaking of, there's Mike Edwards with the INT. And listen, I'm cracking up because watch this guy just run. He's running, going nowhere, right? He runs about 100 yards, but gets about 10 yards off of it. But the Cats go on to win it 24-10. Great atmosphere.
Yeah, Mike Edwards doesn't get the ball very often, so he's got to make the most of it when he does get a chance to carry the rock.
You got that right. Well, so many of the guys who made big plays, as Lee Kay said, they're gone, and this one's now on the road. So that makes it a lot more challenging. But the Cats say that they have to put that loss to Starkville behind them, get ready for another tough place to play, and forget about how many times they've beaten South Carolina.
We don't really focus on the streak because, I mean, last year's and whatever year, however many it is, I don't even know, but it doesn't help you this year. It's actually one of my favorite places to play. It's going to be real crazy, so we're excited for that.
A lot of roosters crowing?
Yeah, a lot of whatever they are, cocks or whatever, it's all good. It'll be fun.
Remember my freshman year, you know, I think my first kickoff return going in, they got real loud, so I got goosebumps. So I know how it is, you know, we trying to get these people prepared for it.
South Carolina is also coming off a loss at Missouri. The Gamecocks are 1-2 so far on the year.
Yeah, this is a game. Think about this, Christy. All the players on Kentucky's roster right now, they've never lost to South Carolina.
Yeah.
So this may be somewhat of an intimidating atmosphere in Columbia, but one that the Wildcats, at least on this team, are very comfortable with.
Well, I like the fact that Calvin Taylor and Lynn Bowden are both saying they welcome that. They like that. So I said if it was cowbells last week and then this week it's that awful Gamecock, that'll be that they'll be hearing all the time. So, yeah, a challenging environment, but these guys absolutely are on board. They know that they've got to win this game, so it'll be a good one.
Absolutely.
All right, well, coming up next, former Wildcat quarterback Dusty Bonner will join us. He'll break down some of the big plays from the Wildcats last week in Starkville on BBNTV.
Central Bank Big Blue Nation TV is sponsored by Central Bank and by Coca-Cola, Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, Kentucky Select Chevy Dealers, Kroger, and by Papa John's.
When you're out recruiting, a phone call doesn't always cut it.
You have to be there face to face.
It's the same with banking. That's why I chose Central Bank.
At Central Bank, it's easy to stay connected with online and mobile banking. But when you need someone to talk to or a quick decision made, we're right here with the products and personal service to help guide you toward your financial goals.
Think local.
Grow local.
Bank local and put Central Bank's local advantage to work for you.
When you're ordering groceries, you want the freshest, most delicious choices around. Whether it's for a quick and easy weekday meal or a sensational Sunday celebration, we get you. And we've got that. And now you can get home delivery in as fast as 1 hour or enjoy same-day pickup at the store. Either way, we think you're really going to like how easy it is. See you online.
It's a good day to be alive.
This week's play of the game is sponsored by Coca-Cola.
Sawyer Smith, he's looking right. All out blitz, and he throws, and the catch is made by Bowden, and he breaks away and gets the first down. He's at the 20. He slips a tackle, carries a man inside the 15, all the way down to the 12-yard line. Fantastic individual effort by Lynn Bowden, who was wrapped up 2 yards shy of the first down stick, and he pulled away.
Just pure effort there by Lynn Bowden on a big play for the Wildcats. They'll need a lot more of that in Columbia, South Carolina.
All right, joined now by former Wildcat quarterback Dusty Bonner. Thanks for joining us first of all.
He does exist,
He
by
does
the way,
exist,
not just Sherman.
yes. Kentucky's ground game got off to a great start last week.
Yeah, they did, and this was a big play for Kentucky because it was first and forever, so it's really important to get off to a good start. Notice here in the box, first thing I want to point out, the defense, if you go tackle to tackle and about 5 to 7 yards deep, the defense has 7 guys in the box. We've got 5 offensive linemen and a tight end. So we've got 6 to block and they've got 7 to tackle. So the numbers are in their favor. Look at A.J. Rose here. I like this a little bit. He's a little bit back from Sawyer Smith. It allows him to be working downhill and still have his vision and be able to get the ball. On the snap of the ball, A.J. is going to head over to the right side. Part of the reason for that is that outside backer on the opposite side away from the arrow here, he's the one guy that's unaccounted for. There's nothing we can do to block him because they've got one extra guy that we can block, and your hope is that he goes with the quarterback on the play fake. On the snap of the ball, this is great position by Mason Wolf right here, your right guard. He turns his guy out and gets position on him. And then look in the middle, look at Drake Jackson and Logan Stenberg. They do a great job of doing a combo. Drake's job is to get body contact until Logan can take over, and then once Logan can get that guy, Drake can climb up to this linebacker here at the second level, as you'll see happen here. He's going to climb up and get on that guy. You watch Logan turns his guy in, and then A.J. has to make a read based off of Drake's block, which he does. Drake gives him a good defining direction by turning the shoulders, and then it's off to the races. Get up to the secondary. Ahmad Wagner's working out hard as a receiver trying to make a block downfield. Does the right thing by not blocking in the back.
Go ahead.
Well, some of those things were talked about, that the offensive line really didn't play as well as what they could have or should have, or what we've seen from the past from them, and some of that in that blocking that you're exactly talking about there.
Yeah, well, that was a great play by the offensive line. They were outnumbered. Mississippi State was playing against the run, had the numbers on us, and they made a great positioning, great leverage, using their bodies and putting themselves in a great position.
And, of course, the thing to keep in mind in the last 5 games against South Carolina, Kentucky has outgained the Gamecocks, so that'll certainly be important again this weekend. Let's move on now to defense and look at one of the defensive plays from last week.
So if you look at this, we talk about that same box, and Kentucky's defense, they got 3 down defensive linemen. Looks like a 3-4 or nickel package, which means they're going to have 5 defensive backs. Right now we got 3 defensive linemen and 2 linebackers in the middle. Mississippi State's going 4 wide. They got 2 receivers on each side, really spreading us out. And so right now you take a look at this defensive line. There's 3 of our guys, and we got 2 linebackers over the middle for 5 of their offensive linemen. Somebody's got to beat somebody to get some pressure. And the guy I want you to watch is Calvin Taylor, because he's that guy that beats somebody. On the snap of the ball, he gets a great first step, sets up outside, the tackle moves out, and then a great swim move back in the middle. The offensive guard was so confused that he was looking in the middle and didn't even see him. At this point, all he can do is hold, which he does. Making a move to the quarterback, he has to step up and rush. He overstrides. The ball's going to go high or low when you overstride. And then right in the middle of the field, Mosley, our safety, making a great play on the ball, catching it at its highest point, giving Kentucky a chance to get back in the game.
Got to see more plays like that when you're talking about trying to get the offense on the field, keep the defense off the field in a really, really wild environment.
Well, you see the importance of offensive line being able to win even when they're outnumbered, and you see the importance of the defensive line being able to win even when they're outnumbered, the results that you get from it.
No question. Everybody talks about that in the SEC, right? It's won right there at that line of scrimmage.
That's where it's won, and you'll see it's won when you're outmanned. You got to be able to do it when the numbers are against you, and that makes a big difference.
Good stuff. All right, well, stay with us. There's plenty more football chatter on the way with Dusty Bonner.
But when we come back, we'll meet one of the newest basketball cats, a guy with a lot of Division I experience. That's next on BBNTV.
For official coverage of the Cats, including live game audio and exclusive video content, download the official UK Athletics app from iTunes or Google Play today.
The way Bill sees it, a car is not just for getting from point A to point B. For Bill, his car is a reflection of his personality, his style, his values. That's why he has Kentucky Farm Bureau take care of his insurance. Because we're not just Kentucky's Farm Bureau, we're Bill's pride and joy Farm Bureau. My Farm Bureau. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
When you're ordering groceries, you want the freshest, most delicious choices around. Whether it's for a quick and easy weekday meal or a sensational Sunday celebration, we get you. And we've got that. And now you can get home delivery in as fast as 1 hour or enjoy same-day pickup at the store. Either way, we think you're really gonna like how easy it is. See you online.
It's a good day to be alive.
Tune in to the UK Healthcare Mark Stoops radio show every Monday from 6 to 7 p.m. Followed by the all-new Big Blue Nation radio show from 7 to 8 on the UK Sports Network.
As the weeks lead up to the UK basketball opener, we're going to get to meet the Cats.
That's right, and we will do that courtesy of Rex Chapman, an All-American at UK, now part of the UK Sports Network. He recently sat down with each player, including one of the newest Wildcats, grad transfer Nate Sestina.
Nate, thanks for being here. Thanks for coming to UK. Really, I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Came down to here and where else for you in the end?
Probably between here, Maryland, and Syracuse, and maybe UConn. I had really been talking with them a lot. They talked to my family a lot, and Maryland staff really reached out to me like every day during the process, and they were open and honest about everything and kind of like the role I would have there. And Syracuse was the same way. And I talked on the phone with Jerry McNamara a lot, and then came down to this, and can't really beat it.
Yeah. And what turned the tide for us?
I think it was just kind of like the track record. Everybody that comes in here has the same thing to say, that it's really hard, but that you come here and you get better, and that's something that I needed. I need to get my limits pushed and kind of step outside that comfort zone. And on my visit, KP said the same thing that he's been telling me every day here, is like I'm going, like, it's going to be really hard, and I'm going to break you. And he's like, but you're going to thank me at the end of the day. But he doesn't expect that. He just knows that his guys are going to come in and kind of work hard and show up every day.
Do you feel a little more pressure coming from a smaller place or no?
I don't know if it's a pressure as much as I just know that everybody there kind of has your back. I'm the youngest of 5 kids. Parents are teachers. Grew up in like a really modest household and kind of was raised, I think, the right way in terms of being able to give back whenever you have the opportunity. So for me, I don't know if it's as much pressure as much as I just know everybody has my back, and especially my family. They're kind of everything for me.
So Nate Sestina, a little reminiscent of Reed Travis, a guy that's got some experience on him. He's got some maturity. And then, my goodness, what he's been able to do with his body. We talk about player development in football all the time. It absolutely happens in basketball.
Absolutely it does. Kentucky Basketball's Twitter account put out a picture, a side-by-side picture of him this week of Sestina when he first arrived at Kentucky and Sestina now. Now, that's only about a 3-month process, and it looks like one of those gigantic before and after pictures.
Yeah, from some kind of huge, nutritional website of some kind. It's shocking.
It just makes me think, what were they doing at Bucknell in their nutritional program? But UK certainly has it figured out now. He's a lot like Reed Travis as far as a grad transfer, but his game, he can shoot the ball. Think Dirk Nowitzki. He's going to be a really talented guy. Fun to watch.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, there's more to come right here on BBNTV. We'll hear from a Wildcat who could have tested the NBA waters, but decided he wants another season in the blue and white. That's next on the UK Sports Network.
I joined Papa John's to bring people together. It's a great day, baby. And sharing pizza is a good start. What's up, fellas? It's lunchtime. That's my guy right here. Big guys got to stick together. You guys hungry? Would you like a pizza? What's happening? That your girlfriend? Yes, it is. Oh, left-handed. That's good. Better ingredients, better pizza, better day.
This is the Chevy Silverado with the world's first invisible trailer.
Invisible trailer?
Hop in. Silverado offers an optional technology package with up to 15 different views, including one enhanced view that makes your trailer appear invisible.
Wow, that's pretty sweet.
That's cool. Where's the trailer though?
Or get a total value of over $97.60 on this Silverado All-Star without optional tech package or enhanced invisible view.
See your Kentucky Select Chevy dealers.
UK Sports and Campus Marketing would like to thank our official Cornerstone partners, Central Bank, the official bank of UK Athletics, and Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
So time now to hear from another Wildcat, although we know this guy pretty well. E.J. Montgomery said no thanks to the NBA draft and came back to Lexington. We're glad he did.
He did. Rex Chapman had a chance to sit down with E.J. as well, and here's what he had to say.
E.J., I ask you to start off a little bit with the same thing I asked Ashton. I know there was you gave a little consideration to possibly leaving last year and turning pro. Yes. Ultimately, why did you decide to come back? I'm thrilled that you did. I would have been your biggest supporter had you gone and would continue to be. But personally, I think it's a great move. I told PJ the same thing this time last year when I saw him. He'd gone through the whole process. To me, it shows a great deal of maturity because, everybody's trying to fast track, right? So talk to me about that decision. How did it come about, and how do you feel about it now?
Just the decision, I just wanted to go try out the process, see how everything was, and just keep working and build my confidence up for the next year, and if I did good, I was going to stay in, but everybody was just saying that I just needed that one more year under my belt to just to show more what I can do and just go out there and have that confidence.
When you went and worked out against some of these guys, tell me about that. And I guess not specifically, but what were the things that you took away from those workouts, playing against guys that were going to stay in the draft? What did you learn about your game?
It was a lot of fun working out with those guys. I just learned you have to be in great condition. This confidence has to be a great level, your strength, and just, it's a different level up there.
Lee K, it's so rare that you have a player come back in this basketball program. What a luxury somebody like E.J. Montgomery is to have had a year under the system under his belt.
Absolutely. And I think a guy like P.J. Washington kind of set that standard, kind of showed E.J. the path that, hey, if you're not ready to come out and go to the NBA after year number 1, it's okay to come back for year number 2. And I think that's really going to pay off really well for E.J. He's going to make a big jump from his freshman year to his sophomore year.
Yeah, I think it's going to be exciting to see how he progresses for sure.
Absolutely. All right, stay with us. We're going to shift back to football when we come back.
What's it going to take for the Wildcats to make it 6 straight over the Gamecocks? That's coming up next on BBNTV.
For complete coverage of the Cats, like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and on Twitter.
Before the victory, there's this. The first step. You dig in, work hard, win or lose, try again. Those are big. But it all starts with that first step. And to get there, we come here to the University of Kentucky, where every moment and every victory is wildly possible.
Direct from Broadway to the Opera House stage, say oh yes to Broadway Live's new season of blockbuster hits, Beautiful, the Carole King musical, the SpongeBob musical, Fiddler on the Roof, An American in Paris, and Bandstand, plus Variety Live add-ons, Concert with the Stars, Dinosaur World Live, and a Whitney Houston tribute, The Greatest Love of All. Single shows on sale now. For tickets, 233-3535 or visit LexingtonOperaHouse.com.
When you're out recruiting, a phone call doesn't always cut it.
You have to be there face to face.
It's the same with banking. That's why I chose Central Bank.
At Central Bank, it's easy to stay connected with online and mobile banking. But when you need someone to talk to or a quick decision made, we're right here with the products and personal service to help guide you toward your financial goals.
Think local.
Grow local.
Bank local and put Central Bank's local advantage to work for you.
Tune in to Don Franklin Auto Countdown to Kickoff with Christy Thomas, Dusty Bonner, and Jeremy Jarman for complete game day coverage of Kentucky football, starting each Saturday 2 hours prior to kickoff.
When we talk about a serving size, most of the things are compared to a piece of bread, okay? So the general piece of bread is about 15 grams. Spaghetti. This is a serving of spaghetti. So think about when you eat pasta. How many servings do you think you get?
Like 3.
Macaroni, when you have macaroni and cheese, is your serving ever this big?
That's like 1 spoonful.
So it is. It's about between a third and a half of a cup. So it doesn't mean that you only have 1 serving on your plate. Everybody needs more than 1 serving of grain a day. But it does mean you have to realize that you don't want to get 6 servings at 1 meal. You want to spread them throughout the day.
We wanted to share a story with you that's really great involving former UK defensive back Lonnie Johnson.
He is a native of Gary, Indiana, now playing for the Houston Texans. Lonnie heard about a 14-year-old from his hometown who accidentally drowned. So he reached out to the victim's family and offered to pay for the young man's funeral.
Before I got drafted, I won't be back to my city unless I can bring something back to it. So that's my goal, to bring life back to the city and give back to my city. So that's part of me doing what I did.
Amazing story. Love that he's doing that. I said it's players becoming men, which is really what you want. But Lonnie was big as the Cats beat South Carolina last year. So, DB, tell us, what's it going to take for the Cats to get a win down there?
Well, I think ultimately we can't become one-dimensional on offense. We're going to have to be able to establish a run. I think we need to do that early. Will Muschamp is a defensive guru. He's going to put pressure, and I believe he's going to try to come after us on the offensive side of the ball. So we have to be able to run the ball, but we're going to have to be able to throw too. And defensively, we need to make them one-dimensional. Their quarterback, Kalinski's a young guy, but he throws the ball well, and I think if we can make them one-dimensional, we can make them predictable.
They're going to get to play, like you said, against a true freshman quarterback. What can the Wildcats do against a guy who doesn't have a lot of game reps?
Well, I think you got a couple different options. You can go after him, but then you kind of open yourself up, make yourself vulnerable in the secondary, or you can drop people back and like we talked about with Calvin Taylor, take your 3 or 4 guys that are rushing and say you got to beat somebody. And ultimately in the SEC, the teams that can beat they can beat the opposing line without having the numbers. Those are the teams that are going to win the game.
Coming off 2 straight losses here, really got to get their minds right, no doubt about that. I mean, do you feel good about that and where their heads are?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not in that locker room,
Yeah.
and that's totally their deal. But I have confidence in Coach Stoops based off of what he's done and the culture he's brought here. And, football's one of those games. One of the great things about it is when it's over, you forget about it and you move on. And so you just have to move on. This week's the most important week. And listen, a lot of their goals and what they set out to do is still in front of them.
That's right. All right. Well, DB, thank you so much. We'll see you soon. Thanks for being here. That's it for now. Our thanks to Dusty Bonner for joining us. Enjoy your college football, and we'll see you next week on BBNTV.
Central Bank Big Blue Nation TV was sponsored by Central Bank and by Coca-Cola, Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, Kentucky Select Chevy Dealers, Kroger, and by Papa John's. Be sure to catch the UK Healthcare Mark Stoops radio show every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. on the UK Sports Network.